Oh, we just started. Okay. Hey
Yeah.
everybody, welcome. It's time for the what even week 12 recap for the Sooner Nation Fantasy Football League. Jason Smith, my friend here with me. I'm Aaron. Let's I don't know. Do you want to talk about anything else? You want to just jump right into what we missed?
Well, I thought we could do just a quick overview of week 11, not game by
Mm,
game. I did load up one game, but I wanted to show everybody the week 11 score since we missed a show.
yeah.
Um, there were
Well
two
that
very close games. As you
yeah,
look, as you look
that
about these, geez, the Karate Kid with a gross 79-point win. Uh,
yeah, good week to pull that off.
Three teams get wins under 100 points. Uh, but then we have I had as the game of the week. Reflecting back, you had this game right here,
Damn.
week
Yeah,
11.
that's what a game. That was awesome.
Yeah,
Those
it just
guys.
looking back on something
Yeah.
like this that with it, somebody wins by two single yards. Uh,
Yeah, with huge scores by both teams too.
yeah, yeah. I just when you
Yeah,
look at, I think that I when I did the initial look, those were the the poor Dudabides who now sit at 4-8. They outscored every team in the league except for one by
yeah,
2 yards.
that's the
And
worst beat.
it's the worst beat of the year, I think. I mean we
Yeah, I
haven't
think
been
so. I'd
tracking
agree.
it, but like it's the
Yeah,
worst beat of the year to have 250 total points and to come down to only two single yards. I'm sure if we had Jeremy as a guest on the show, he'd be able to find that one interception, or that
right.
that if he doesn't, that doesn't happen, or that
Yeah,
one pass interference or penalty that just
yeah, a holding call. Yeah,
yeah. So just a great game, and that's a quick rundown of week 11. I know it's not much, but this show's getting too long to begin with. So let's break
yeah.
down week 12, starting off with a tough beat by Aaron Copeland.
Oh, yeah. Mahoney evens the series. He goes to 7-5. I know Chris got a lot of satisfaction out of beating me, and he should. It's cute. Like I know Chris can relate to this. Like it's like he's playing against his son, Caden. He plays him in everything: golf, Madden, ping pong, Battleship. Like Caden's always wanted to compete against his old man. And you play enough times, Caden beats Chris every once in a while. And it's cute, but Chris doesn't worry about when Caden beats him at the odd game of chess or Madden because he's happy for him. And mostly because he knows it's a fluky win and the natural order is going to be restored when Chris wins the next dozen rounds of golf. So that's what this reminds me of. Dak Prescott by himself, he's outscored Chris's entire week one game against me by more almost 20 points.
Wow.
Harden the best of times to overcome a 60-point quarterback game, and this season is far from the best of times for the Ashton Circles. So Chris just rolls to a win on the back of Dak Prescott.
Man, Dak is looking elite in the fantasy world for sure. And as we talk about this week of football, with 3 games on Thursday, a game on Friday, and then you have, I believe it was 8 games on Sunday, and then a Sunday night game and a Monday night game.
Yeah, it
It
was a
was
lot.
a gluttonous experience
Yeah,
for the football fan. Like there was
yeah,
so much NFL football on our TVs this week.
yeah,
And to have it be over a course of 5 days, it was a lot of football and a lot of points
yeah,
spread out over 5 days.
yeah.
It was a merry time. It was a buffet of football, and it had to not be great to see Dak throw to Brandon Cooks on
Yeah,
that on Thursday. I mean,
yeah. I knew by the second game on Thanksgiving, I knew I wasn't winning.
yeah,
So
God.
on one hand, it made it where I could just enjoy the games for what they were. I stopped worrying about who's scoring what. I
Well,
just watched the games.
let's end on a good point for Aaron Copeland's team, because Zay Flowers looks like the real deal rookie wide
Oh
receiver.
yeah, that
That
was
had to be a
very
fun Sunday
encouraging.
night game. He looks awesome. I think it's the first Baltimore receiver to have a rushing and receiving touchdown in years in the same game. Super fun. He looks electric,
Yeah.
and he also leads the league in his celebrations. I thought his second celebration was just so fun. So
Did you see him explaining the first one to
yes,
Lamar on the
yes,
sideline, and Lamar's like,
I absolutely loved that. It was like, dude,
Yeah.
you are a loser. It was like
Yeah.
senior making fun of a freshman. It was
Exactly. Yeah. That's what I thought about that too. Because he's
yeah,
the
it was like,
rookie
no,
and Lamar's the veteran, and just,
yeah,
son, get
yeah,
your
it
act
was
together.
that was a great
Tighten
moment.
it up.
It's a great moment. Baltimore looks really good, man. Baltimore looks
They're they're gonna be a problem for somebody.
I was terrified of just Justin Herbert getting hurt. I was like, just can Herbert not play them? I just didn't want them
Right.
to play Baltimore. Like it
Yeah.
was they hurt
Yeah.
people. They
Yeah.
absolutely hurt people.
Well,
So
it's the worst division for that too, because the Browns are just as bad, and the
completely.
Steelers are almost as bad.
Yeah. It's
You got
like,
Myles Garrett, T.J. Watt. You've got all these guys that just break people.
yeah. And the whole Baltimore team. Yeah. I
Yeah.
think I said on a text thread, one of our group texts that the AFC North should not be allowed to play a Thursday game. It is
No, never.
never. They should not be
Yeah.
allowed to play on Thursday nights.
Yeah.
They need a whole week to recover. And actually, anytime anybody who's not in the AFC North plays an AFC North team, they should be allowed to get a bye week the next week just to get
Yeah.
a
They're
week
not used
off
to it.
from the beating. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Like the AFC South has no business playing the AFC North and like not having the week off the next
Oh,
week. So
no, they're not getting out of bed the next
yeah.
day.
Okay, let's go to this game.
Yeah.
I'll have you talk about. I'm having a little bit of ice cream. I haven't had my dessert today yet.
All right. So Josh takes down Jeff 95-88. The Ghosts sweep the Rhinos. They go to 9-3. Jeff's playoffs hopes hit a little speed bump as he drops to 6-6, but I'm going to go over all the playoff implications later, and we'll
Right.
find out Jeff's really not in any trouble. This felt like a 5-star wrestling match, like a classic, like multiple times where it felt like each team had the upper hand, only for the other one to just wrench control back. It really felt like each guy was going to win this a couple different times. Comes down to Sunday Night Football. Jeff's got the usually reliable Austin Eckler in there. He needs about 12 points. And that's attainable for Eckler. That's right in his zone, and just can't get there. Don't understand what's going on with the Chargers, unless it's just Brandon Staley is just in way over his head and it's just squandered the first few years of Justin Herbert. Um,
Yes.
really
Yes.
remarkable.
Yes.
You agree with that? Really remarkable here. Josh Wynn's only getting 22 points from Tua. Look, Tyreek almost outscored Tua. Jeff's got to be going batty with the Najee Harris, Jalen Warren combo. Like every week, he seems like he's playing the wrong guy.
Yeah.
Josh remains very dangerous, but this week reminds us that he's not some inevitable outcome, like very beatable on the right week.
Yeah.
So,
great bid by Josh to get Denver Broncos. He got him off the waiver wire. Immediately started them. I think they're plus 12 or plus 14 the last 3 games in turnover margin.
yes,
They look amazing. We've talked about it before. That 70-point, giving up 70 points to Miami changed the whole course of their season. I think in the picks contest, I picked against Denver the last 5 weeks, and I have 0 wins. I mean, I just don't believe in them because of that game. It has left such just a stink on their season.
Yeah.
Now they might make the playoffs. I like the breakdown. I too thought that the Rhinos were going to pull this out because Eckler's been so consistent. And I mean, just the Broncos outscore the Browns by 11 points. And I don't know. It was just interesting to see the week that was. I thought that Jeff had this. And it was good to see, as someone who relies heavily on Kansas City's offense, it was good to see a second half where Mahomes played well and threw the ball and they scored points. But I'm not worried about Jeff, but I did think this was one of the better games we had this week.
That was terrific. Yeah, very a lot of drama back and forth. Less drama. Jay sweeps John to go 127-86. When I was watching on Sunday, like I said, I was not paying attention to fantasy. I did not care who was beating who. So I just keep seeing John's guys score. I saw Mostert get in the end zone twice. I knew he had Pollard on Thanksgiving. The red zone keeps going back and forth, and it's Olave catching this and Devonta Adams catching that. I'm assuming whoever's playing John is in big trouble. So surprised when I log in to see it's not even close. Jay just whipped him. John's got a lot of good dudes. He just can't get it together. Jordan Love looked really good on Thanksgiving, I think. We've taken some time to we've pooped on him quite a bit this year, and he looked great. He hadn't been playing against man very well, and he was just eating up the Lions. Derrick Henry with the throwback game showing he can still produce the big numbers. Easy to win a game like this, though, when your quarterback delivers like Hurts. He almost doubled his score from last week versus the Chiefs. The Vipers are relentless. They're just like they're like gravity. Like you try to resist, and in the end, you're still gonna fall. Well, I'm really proud of that one.
That's fantastic. I mean, Jay only would have lost to the Russell Sweat Sox this week. I had the highest point total, but we'll get to that in a little bit because I don't think I actually did. I think I should have 4 less points than I actually scored.
Interesting.
We'll talk about that potential controversy here in a little bit. But Jay would have been second in points this week. Jay's team is so good. And it's almost like when one player has a tough game or his receivers aren't as good, then that's the week that Henry's going to score 2 touchdowns.
Yeah, they lift each other up.
I mean, that's an interesting. I like it. Jay is gravity. Might have to change his logo. It's really good breakdown. John has lots of good players, though. I don't know how he got them. Don't know how he got all these keepers, but he just keeps having keepers. Must have been a trade that happened when we didn't have a show, but he's got a lot of keepers right now. Let's keep going.
I can hypnosis is the only thing I can think of. There was some kind of all right.
Or maybe some jelly donut back channels. But let's go to another potential game of the week. Really good competition here.
Yeah. Shane gets some revenge from a week 1 loss. He defeats Chad 128-125. Tight game here. This game was awesome. I mean, 2 big scores. Chad gets 44 points from Matt Stafford. Shane sees that, raises him a 63 from Josh Allen.
Amazing.
Chad's in striking range. He's got 2 guys going on Sunday night. Gets a huge game from the Ravens defense. 15 points on the river, but there's Gus Edwards in a 3.7-yard flop. Oh. Chad busts. Look, not a team I'm looking forward to playing in the loser bracket, though. I don't know. Fryermuth looks like he's back for Shane. It's Shane's tough. Tough loss for Chad here.
Oh, yeah. I mean, tough loss. I mean, the return of Kyron Williams. I mean, you have 200 and some yards, 223 yards, I think, and what he did. I mean, to score 125 points and take a loss, this game is so maddening. But with Josh Allen's 4 touchdowns, that Buffalo-Philly game was such good football.
What an awesome game. Yeah.
I just going into overtime and that wrong route or that wrong pass by Gabe Davis for the potential win. Football is awesome. There was so much of it on TV. I usually watch a lot of Red Zone, but with so many individual games this week, you had a chance to kind of really zone in. And some of the Eagles-Buffalo game ended so much later than the other games in the afternoon slot. It really felt like there were 6 games that I watched the full game of, rather than just some of the highlights. So great week. Good point. Great week for football. I think we watched more individual games, at least I did as a viewer. I got kind of more a feel for the football games like I did when I was a kid, when there was no Red Zone.
You just had to you watch what's on CBS.
I watched the Fastest 3 Minutes last night with my family, the Monday night with Boomer. And I just said, man, it's just, though that music and the nicknames, I laughed out loud 3 or 4 times. Like, I feel like I'm a little kid. Like, why does this guy still tickle me with his nicknames? But I just love it.
So stupid, but I eat it right up too.
I love it. Like, I told Katie that when I was growing up, 5:30 was when prime time came on, and Boomer would start. Like, it was like me with my notepad out when I was counting the touchdowns from my dad's fantasy football team when he had Jerry Rice and John Taylor. And it was just like, nothing was better than that half an hour because I didn't know what was happening in the other games. Like,
you were no access.
It was so for me. Like, I remember the notepad because I would be like, I would have my dad's players down. It was just a touchdown only league. So I was like, did my players
just
score?
Listening?
Did the right guy score? Did it's in good hands with Mike Allstott? Did he get any touchdowns this week? Like, I don't care who won the game, and it was really neat. So. That was that was a free story. So another incredible game. What a week.
Yes.
What a week.
Yeah. Closest game of the week. John evens the season series, beats Brandon by 0.3. Cole Kmet needed 4 points at halftime of Monday Night Football. Or no, Cole Kmet needed 4 points, but at halftime he just needed 1 yard.
1 yard.
1 yard. Yeah, 1 yard down.
1 yard.
I hope they were texting each other because that's That's delightful.
I don't know if they would have been too nervous. Like I just
Yeah.
1 yard just sweat it out. Like he should have just gone to watch Killers of the Flower Moon in the movie theater or something. Like put me out of my misery.
Yeah.
Let me go watch a movie about genocide of natives, so I don't have to be able to watch my team just get killed. Keep going. Keep going.
Yeah. Bijan finally explodes with the kind of game we've been fantasizing about. I love it, scoring on the ground and the air. Kind of pulled a move like a Zay Flowers there. That's awesome. On the other side, Christian McCaffrey showing he's still like the number one alpha. Garrett Wilson finds a way to turn in a good fantasy game in this hellscape of New York. Trevor Lawrence was terrific, 47 points. Really exciting to me to think about getting to see Lawrence and Stroud twice a year for the next 6-7 years. Like that sounds great.
Yeah. I loved when Lawrence was like, I don't want my teams in my conference to be good. I want them to be as bad as possible. And then kind of great personality, kind of laughing off that joke and saying, no, what CJ's doing is great. And it's going to be awesome competition. Like it was a great football moment. That was a great game too. The doinking off it wasn't even a yard. It was a third of a yard. He just needed a third of a yard more. Great football week. Great football week in real life. Great football week in our league with some of these close games. Of course, you and I weren't involved in the 2 ones where they were heartbreak, so we can talk about how great they were.
Sure. Well, mine was pretty heartbreaking, but go ahead. Go as you were. The dude does not abide. He loses 130 to 108 to your Karate Kids, completing the season sweep. Jeremy had a pretty good week. 108 points, not bad. Mike Evans continues to just terrorize.
Yeah, it's awesome.
David Montgomery is as dependable as the sun coming up. Isaiah Pacheco is not a guy I think about as being like top tier. Like his Madden score is not great, but man, that guy's a dog. He's got some like Marshawn Lynch in him where he just wants to just hit the hole just as hard as possible and just hurt somebody. So he seems like a fun guy to have.
He's so much fun to have on your team, dude. He just runs so stinking hard. I loved him in the Super Bowl run last year, and I tried to trade him away to multiple teams, and then he was there for me picking in the 3rd or 4th round. I was like, I guess I'm stuck with Pacheco again, but he looks great, and he's super fun. The Chiefs are great. And
he's a good one.
McKinnon getting hurt a little bit, like the limited options for Kansas City has allowed my players to shine a little bit, including Rashee Rice, who looked pretty good on Sunday.
Yeah. Good luck counting on a receiver out there, but go ahead.
Yeah. I just wanted to say that Mike Evans is 5th overall in points, which is fantastic. And Montgomery, even though he's been hurt, is 8th overall in points.
Isn't Keenan Allen's probably number 2 or 3?
Allen's 2.
Yeah. So the dude's got the 2 and 5 receivers right now.
Yeah.
That's tough.
Pretty incredible. And to sit there at 4 and 8. I mean, this just goes back to Deshaun Watson. If he cuts bait 2 years ago, there's no telling what a team that the dude abides could have. So, so as we think about points, you'll see that the Detroit Lions there have scored 4 points. Now, those 4 points were given to the Detroit Lions because they scored 2 2-point conversions. And I don't believe that they should have received those points. So I'm unsure in our league scoring rules if the commissioner wants to look at that and make a change after 12 weeks. It just seemed a little strange that when my defense special team scored a 2-point conversion, the quarterback and receiver and team all got points. It seems like just the individuals in the league should get the points. So
that seems like a mistake.
It seems like a mistake. I would be in favor of changing that so a team does not get points for a individual scoring the 2-point. I would be okay with scoring 126 points this week rather than the 130. I would hate for it to come down to the playoffs and to have one of these super close games and to have points be awarded to a defense that I don't think that they potentially should deserve. What do you think?
No, I agree. That's not how the rules were written up anyway. So it seems like a glitch in the scoring.
So I don't think that a team should get team points for a 2-point conversion. So if the commission wants to look into that, I would hate that to have potentially in the first 11 weeks made one of these games different. So
Yeah.
I'm not going to go back and look through it. But even this week, it could have made a change if one of those defenses scored a 2-point conversion and got 2
Yeah. We've
points
been
for it.
seeing a lot of 2-point conversions this year.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. So
Um,
I don't know. That seems like it's the commissioner's problem and not ours. But
but
it,
yeah, I'm not making the playoffs anyway. So what do I care?
um, so it's something to look at potentially. Uh,
Yeah.
and I would be in
Hmm.
favor of us making sure that teams don't get those points if the commissioner would be looking at that. Perhaps there could be some chatter on the message board or the group text. Looking at some of our divisional standings, you have three. It
Hmm.
looks like you've got the 1, 2, and 3 seeds. Looks like you have playoff standings ready. Would you like to cover that now?
Yeah. Yeah. Let's do that while you got it up on the
Okay.
screen.
Yeah, yeah.
So
I'll go to overall, and then I'll go back to this. This is where we stand overall. Look at that lead by the Vipers.
yeah.
My goodness. But I think it's easiest to see playoff situations when we break it down with divisions. So I'll let you take it
Yeah.
here.
Okay. So Jay has wins over you and Josh. So he has clinched the number 1 seed
Yeah.
with 2 weeks to go, which is crazy.
Yeah.
Uh, Josh at 9-3, he's got a win over you, so he can clinch. He's clinched the playoffs. He can clinch the division with 1 win or 1 Chris loss. You can be no worse than the 3 seed.
Correct.
You could still be the 2.
Yeah.
Chris at 7-5, he's made the playoffs. He's just figured out like where it's going to land. Jeff is 6-6, but I think he's safe no matter what happens because he beat Shane and he beat all 4 of the 4-win teams and False John. He didn't beat Brandon, but he's got a head-to-head versus everybody else. So I feel like Jeff is pretty safe.
Okay.
Shane at 6-6, he beat False John and Chad, but he lost to Brandon and the Pharisees and the Dude. So he controls his own destiny at 6-6, but he can't fool around.
Okay.
False John, the Hellhounds, they're 5-7. He beat Brandon and he beat Jeremy and the Pharisees, but he lost to Chad. But he gets another shot at Chad, I think this week. And then Brandon at 5-7, he lost to both Johns and Jeremy, but he beat Chad. So all the 5-7 guys, they control their own destiny at this point. They can keep if they win out, they've done it. But if they stumble, Jeremy is right there. Chad and the Pharisees, all 3 of them are at striking distance at 4 to reach up and get that eighth spot. Pretty settled though.
Yeah, but pretty intense for the teams with 4 and 5 wins right now as we head to the last couple of weeks of the regular season. So, by the way, speaking of nostalgia, one of my favorite things you did as the commissioner was the end of the year week 13. If so and so does this, and I always studied that like it was like, a Hebrew document. I was always one of my favorite weeks of the year. So thanks for doing that breakdown. To have a number 1 seed settled, we'll see if Jay wants to sort of go for potential, historic greatness with a record, or if he wants to rest some of his players to make sure they're healthy for the playoffs. So
you don't want to get anybody hurt.
Yeah, that's for sure. So point standings. Not that I pay attention.
Look at that.
But the Karate Kid has slipped to 4th. Over the last couple of weeks. That 80-point win last week didn't help on the old point.
Not on this one.
But it's always interesting to look at this to see that Josh has scored more points than Jay and cannot get the number 1 seed. So always think that it's important to recognize the total points winner for the season as we move forward. Now the pick'em contest.
Woo!
Wow. I don't know. I know we live nowhere near Vegas. I wish there was some sort of like gambling app that people could, gamble on, like with using some sort of technology away from Vegas. But looking good, Ashton Circle with a 4-game lead.
Yeah.
That's a lot. Usually this time of the season with for those who watch the show who are not part of the league, this pick'em contest goes all the way through week 18 and then concludes. And then I think we pick games in the playoffs that people still log on, but usually we have a champion after the 18 weeks.
Yeah, if there's a tie break we need, we'll do playoffs.
Yeah. No survivor contest this week since we've already declared a champion there. But we do have a best ball
Yeah, look at those
breakdown.
scores.
The scores that, I mean, obviously what you just said, the scores are crazy high in a best ball league, super fun. Two teams scoring 170 points plus this week.
It's awesome.
I didn't do a breakdown of the teams this week just due to
Yeah.
time, but we do have our best ball standings here. Again, the winner of each division, then the two highest point total winners go into a playoff.
Yeah, I'm slipping a little bit there. That's not good.
Well, you right now are in, but it's getting close. But actually, the gap has been closed. And if you go with teams 28 points within 5 points of the leader, you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 teams vying for 4 spots.
Yeah, that's exciting.
So, and it's fun to see like who may be short a tight end or a kicker or
yeah, we're all falling apart
with injuries. So yes, many things have a chance to fall apart this week. So that's the best ball standings. I'm not sure if people are looking at that very closely. I sure have enjoyed the second league. I think it's been a lot of fun. So thanks to Josh for putting that together. Our best ball standings here. Again, you have these 5 teams within striking distance of the playoffs, it seems like right now. So as we continue, we're going to hit the week 13 preview. Aaron.
Yeah, I do want to do an announcement about our lunch.
Oh,
is that next Tuesday?
I have it as next Tuesday. Yes.
Yeah.
The
5th.
So the 5th at 1 p.m., right?
Yes. Yeah, because I got to take my kid to the doctor. So so 1 o'clock, Johnny's on a Northwest Expressway. We're gonna eat some burgers, and then I guess we're gonna record the show. That'll be exciting.
Yeah, we're gonna be in one of the rooms, and make sure all the teachers out there take a personal day for the afternoon. Let your kids watch Forrest Gump, I believe is what I watched in high school. When my kids...
Remember the Titans.
Yes, something inspirational like that. Yeah. So
and then we're all going to one of Shane's basketball games to watch John Middendorf coach.
Yes.
I'm sure is going to happen.
Yes. At least a sidelines out of bounds play, or maybe don't you think that makes a lot of sense? Like underneath the basket play, one chance to draw up a play.
Yeah. Here's your shot, John.
Yeah. Give us the date for that game again.
I think it's the 12th. I should have written that down. We'll put it on the message board, but I think it's the 12th.
I have it as next 12 Tuesday against U.S. Grant. Yeah.
I
don't know the time. We need to make sure we know the time for that game. So
I think it's at noon. No, it's like 7. I don't know. We'll figure it out.
Okay, it's great.
Yeah. So
thank you.
Here we go.
Put those in the notes for next week. Yeah.
Chris 7-5 versus Jeff 6-6. Jeff with the win in week 2, but this is not the same Dak Prescott from early in the season. Dak right now is an advantage over Patrick Mahomes. I don't like the matchup for Dallas. Playing on a short week, Thursday night. The Seahawks have some nasty cornerbacks.
Witherspoon's sick, man.
Yeah. And oh man, yeah. So I don't know. Maybe Cooks can keep it going, or maybe we just see a lot more passing to the backs, to the tight ends. Real curious to see who Jeff goes with at running back. Oh, he's plugged Harris. Najee has supplanted Jalen Warren. I don't know if Chris realized he was not going to have any viable running backs this week with both Jacobs and Cooks being off. I don't know if he's going to make a trade, or maybe he's just going to settle for a 2-point game from one of the guys on his roster. Jeff's lost 3 in a row. Chris has won 4 of his last 5, but I feel like Chris has been better than Jeff of late. Really rough with Chris's guys on bye. I think Jeff wins this easier than he expects.
Oh, wow. Okay. I thought you were going to stick with Dak as well, but I picked Jeff. I just think that Jeff is going to be a prisoner of I think it's weird to have to think that Jeff's openly rooting for one of his players to get hurt, but I think he would be so happy if Najee or Warren got hurt, because it would just be like, can I not just start the same player every week?
Maybe just get hurt right before the playoffs. Just make a clear starter for week 1 of the playoffs.
I'm worried for Matt Stafford. The Cleveland Browns just seems to ruin quarterbacks. If Stafford has a poor thumb, I'm just terrified for any team going against one of those opponents from the AFC North. I think the Browns are going to be great. And I don't know, even though he's 7-5, I believe in Jeff. And I think that Sunday night, I think that Mahomes is going to have a great night on national television against Green Bay. I think he's going to score a lot.
Yeah, it's cool. Both quarterbacks prime time.
Yeah,
So
super
that'll
fun.
that'll be
Yeah,
fun. Yeah.
good matchup for sure.
Not fun. A not fun game. 2-10. Ashton Circle against the Galloping Ghost. 9-3. Josh looking for the season sweep. Ghosts have won 4 of their last 5. Ashton Circle hasn't won in almost 2 months. Ashton is deficient at every spot, and this will not be an interesting game to follow. Easy win for the Ghosts.
Yeah, I don't want to spend too much time on it, but yeah, I
Yeah.
agree. It's the quarterback situation. It was a tough year to own Joe Burrow in fantasy
Yeah.
football. Yeah.
Yeah. But it's okay because I've got Geno Smith on a short week versus Dallas.
On the road.
Yeah.
Hey, you
Yeah.
know what?
So
There's some good movies coming out. You want to watch a movie on Thursday night? That'd be a
yeah,
great
it should.
opportunity to just go out and watch a movie.
Yeah.
Because you don't want to watch what's going to happen to Geno.
Well, I'll just root for Dallas. It'll be yeah.
Oh, that's a positive spirit.
Yeah.
Let's go to this next game.
Yeah.
A couple of teams here that have some bye players. I'm sure they'll pick somebody up in the draft or it's via trade.
Yeah. 11-1. Vipers taking on Chad at 4-8. Chad was one of the first of Jay's mini victims back in week 2. Jay has won 9 in a row.
Oh.
Chad's on a 5-game losing streak, and he just fired a photon torpedo straight down his own exhaust port, blowing up his own team. Matt Stafford's only hope is that Myles Garrett is too hurt to ruin his afternoon, because otherwise Cleveland's going to destroy them. I'm worried. You brought it up last game. Either way, quarterback seems like a huge edge for Jay. Jalen Hurts, the number 3 quarterback right now. Kyron Williams just confounds me. Like, he does not seem like a special back to me, but boy, just pinball machine numbers. Like, I don't know what to do with that. I think Chad's got a running back edge over Jay's vets. I don't know. It's fun that each team has a Houston wide receiver. I do kind of like that they're going. Hawkinson being on bye is not ideal for the Vipers, but Trey McBride's been pretty serviceable. I think it's an easy Jay win.
Yeah, who's going to pick against Jay in a contest when he's 11-1? And even though the San Francisco 49ers are coming to Philly, and that's going to be the game of the week, I'm so surprised it's not in prime time. Like, it seems like a game that everyone
flex that.
Yeah. But I mean, you've got the Dallas game. Tank Dell's the most exciting wide receiver, rookie wide receiver kind of by far. Jay's got an awesome team. I did have a Kyren Williams note. He went on IR this year, missing 4 games. He's 5th in running back points. He missed 4 games in the middle of the season, and he is 5th right now in running back points. Brian Robinson Jr., he's 6th. Right now, Chad has the running back 5 and running back 6 in the league. So it is crazy to think. And I'm taking Jay to go 12-1. When was the last time a team went undefeated? I know that you were 12-1 and you threw the last game.
Yeah. I kind of wish I hadn't done that, but
I wonder, that may be a story for the off season, or for lunch on Tuesday, just to remind everybody. But do you remember a team ever going undefeated in the regular season?
No.
I don't think so.
I don't think it's ever happened.
I think a 1-loss team is the best we've had. So historic year for Jay. I think he keeps it rolling.
Yeah. 5-7 Hellhounds. Shane 6-6. Hellhounds need to avenge a week 2 loss to keep their playoff hopes alive. Hounds are coming off a loss. The Sox have won 2 in a row. This is a tough one without knowing how Shane's going to address his quarterback situation. He's got Dorian T. Robinson coming off a concussion, and his other 2 quarterbacks are on a bye. So I don't know. Wouldn't surprise me if John benched Purdy. Just we were talking about the way Love has looked, and San Fran is legit on defense. So I don't know. Very interesting to see what he's going to do there. I do like Shane having Ayuk to throw against Purdy. I like Shane's wide receivers better than John's, especially with AJ Brown. He's kind of due to blow up again. Both sides can be explosive though. Olave's coming off the concussion. I don't know if we're going to see him. I don't know. I think this is John's game to lose unless Shane makes a big splash at quarterback. So I'm gonna go Hellhounds.
Okay. Yeah, DTR, Jimmy Garoppolo, Josh Allen. I'm not sure what options he has that he'll feel comfortable with at all.
Yeah.
And although at 6-6, I think he wants to keep winning. So he did spend, I think
Yeah,
it
there's
was
some
44,
tension.
I think it was some 40, I think he spent $44 on DTR to really secure him. Uh, I'm not sure if he's going to spend, another $7 on PJ Walker to have another quarterback
Just
go.
lock that up.
Lock up the Browns backfield.
Yeah.
Lots of question marks here. I mean, John may trade away half of his team for different players by the time we get to Sunday. So
That's
there's no
true.
telling what'll happen.
Yeah.
It seems like a coin flip. It seems like a coin flip game for sure. With so much information that we don't know. But I'm gonna take. I'll just take the team you didn't take. Who did you take?
I'm taking the Hellhounds. You can be my guest and have Russell Sweat Sox and no quarterback.
I'm going to take Russell Sweat Sox just because I don't know what to get, and I'm not sure. I think Kansas City is a good defense against Jordan Love at home. I don't know.
Yeah.
The Green Bay Detroit game on Thanksgiving that started off 11 o'clock in the morning. I did not see that coming, but I don't know if that's going to be normal. I still don't necessarily fully believe in the Jordan Love experience. So I think the Hounds are going to have a tough go of it. I'll take opposite. I'll take the Sox.
You would. Oh, look at that. Pharisees 4-8 versus the Karate Kids 9-3. Now, Jason took care of the Pharisees in their first match. Both teams are riding high, though. Pharisees have won 2 in a row. Karate Kids have won 3. Something's got to give. I like the Pharisees to have an edge at both running back and receiver over your guys. I know you just talked about Rashee Rice. I don't trust the KC guys at this point. Maybe they keep doing it. There's 3 different Houston receivers starting this week, it looks like, which is interesting. I guess you're going for the combo points with Stroud. Unfortunately, for those of us who try to stand against evil, your Karate Kids have the edge everywhere else. I think it's another victory for the kids.
Well, I'm going to take the Karate Kids, but if you would have showed me this lineup my first week, if you would have just given me this right here, and I would have been like, I don't like
this Kelsey
happened here, and you would have been able to say like, yeah, Herbert's healthy. He's not starting. If I would have seen that I'm starting Noah Brown, who I had not heard of, I knew. I mean, and Rashee Rice, I would have been like, this is not. I don't like what, and I wouldn't have not liked anything about this. Diggs and Justin Jefferson are on a bye this week. I may have to pick up just somebody just through a trade or through the waiver wire for the Noah Brown spot in case he doesn't even play with a bad knee. The last time he started for the Karate Kid, he scored 17 points with 172 receiving yards.
Wow.
But Denver's defense looks
tougher.
Denver's looks a lot better than they did, in week 3 or 4.
Right.
I will take the Karate Kid, but if you would have just given me a snapshot of this right here and said most of your players are healthy, I would have just been like, how am I 9-3? So
yeah, you would have probably puked.
Yes. Yeah, I would have not liked to seen a bunch of players whose names I can't pronounce and who I'm unfamiliar with their number at the beginning of the season. But I like the idea of going 10-3. Although John's team continues to get better. John with an outside shot at the playoffs. He wouldn't have believed that 2 weeks ago.
No.
Let's see if he can keep rolling to get that 8 spot.
And now, you got nothing to play for. Oh yeah, here we go.
Now the game of the week. Game of the week. It's a really kind of astonishing sponsor that we were able to secure, the sponsor that we got.
Big time. Very big time.
But congratulations to Brandon for the sponsor this week. David Tepper reached out and
that's beautiful.
His management company, his hedge fund, that he made his billions. He's worth about $13.6 billion. And yet loathed and hated by an entire region of football fans. David Tepper's Palooza Management Hedge Fund Company is the sponsor this week for the game of the week, and it features two teams with a juicy game.
Yeah.
Take it away, Aaron.
Yeah. Very heavy playoff implications here. 5-7 Brandon, 4-8 Jeremy. Both guys with a shot here. Both guys desperately need a win. Probably not going to make the playoffs, whoever loses. Jeremy won and beat 2. The dude has lost 2 in a row. He's lost 6 of his last 7. Tolkien have lost 4 of their last 5. Just both teams just desperately looking for some good news here. I like Trevor Lawrence over Kyler Murray, although it's fun to have Kyler back out there running around.
Yeah, I agree.
Each guy has a running back I trust implicitly in Montgomery and McCaffrey, and then a couple guys that are just wild cards. Tolkien's wide receivers could produce, but I feel like Jeremy, we documented his receivers a minute ago. He's in much safer hands.
Yeah.
Boy, I had Brandon in my notes, but I do not like picking against those guys Carr has. Jeremy.
Okay, I'll take Brandon Whiteside. Brandon can't keep losing like this. And then as I say that out, like how can Carr keep losing like this? It's definitely the game of the week. Thanks to David Tepper. It is definitely the juiciest matchup. And again, you got the quarterback Monday night, Trevor Lawrence going for us, and Jacksonville Jags defense. You just have the Monday night, the drama of it all.
That's fun. 3 guys Monday night.
I don't know who the dude abides is going to play. He's got the New England Patriots as his second defense. I don't know if he's going to start them. It looks like the Pats have kind of given up on the season. If it were me, I would pick up, if they were available, and I think they are, I would pick up the Cincinnati Bengals defense just to have defense on Monday night to see what happened. I love the drama of the night games, especially the last one. It would make for a really good show if it was every time Trevor Lawrence threw an interception, it was like 6 points for Cincinnati Bengals.
Big swing.
Big swings. So great game, great week. Aaron, thanks for the preparation for the show. This is a reminder of a happier time. On draft night. All of us, they're hopeful about our season except for Jeff.
He's mad that he's the champion.
Thanks for your preparation. It's good to be back. Thanks everyone. I wonder if anybody will watch this or if they forgot we had a weekly show after missing last week.
Well, we'll just shove it down their throats.
We'll see. This hopefully didn't go over than too much than an hour. Thanks everyone for watching.
Yeah.
See you.